Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William, the permaculture consultant, and the first thing you're probably noticing is that I don't have my yellow patch hat today, and that's because that thing is absolutely filthy and needs to get washed. But today is going to be another permaculture Q&A. Remember, if you have any submissions, just leave a comment down below in the comment section, obviously, with the hashtag permaculture Q&A at the beginning of your comment, so that way I don't miss it. Sorry about the wind today. I have this little fuzzy cover over my microphone, but it's so doggone windy, I don't know if it's gonna do much help. I just noticed the neighbor's bulls came over here to join me. There's one right there. It's pretty doggone big. And then the other one, he's over there. You can see him between those trees over there. All right, question number one is from Jesse Was Here. With some of the wider, deeper swales, do you have any issues with standing water being a source for mosquitoes, or does it tend to be absorbed before it's an issue? So it just got done raining, like pouring for the past 2 or 3 days. Here is one of the swales that's only 3 feet wide and 1 foot deep. And you can see that there's still water in there. On these swales over here, the water tends to absorb pretty doggone quickly, but, oh, he started running. He got spooked by something. But these guys, the swales on the other side of the property, hold quite a bit more water. Now, in these instances, they also hold a ton of frogs. Like there's frogs and turtles all over this area over here. They're only quiet right now because I just came stomping through. So having a full ecosystem usually helps out with that. You can see today, after those days of rain, the bees are awfully active. And that's as close as I'm gonna get with this phone. Because I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but bees hate cell phones. The next question is from Alyssa Rodman, 8144. Hey William, is it possible to plant fruit trees and nitrogen fixing trees at a place that is 300 miles from home? About ½ acre of raw brush covered land. I only go there 4 times a year. I'm in Temple, Texas. So that's gonna be, yep, West Texas. Doesn't get a whole lot of rain. All right, yes, it is entirely possible, but timing is gonna be key on this. Now, every tree that you're seeing over this way on this swale, every tree over there, all the trees over on this side, these 3 swales up here, all of these guys have been abandoned and completely neglected. They have gotten zero attention from humans in about 4 years. It is entirely possible to just plant it and forget it, but you absolutely need to buy bare root trees. So there's potted and then there's bare root. The bare root ones are going to be about 1/4 to 1/3 of the cost of the potted tree. And they're gonna have a way higher survivability rate. If you're looking for bare root trees, just hit up like Tai Nursery or Stark Brothers. Those are all options. Look for something that's closest to you. To find one, just Google or search, don't use Google. Bare root trees for sale near me, and usually they have like a growing zone calculator up at the top right, and it'll tell you what works in your area. Not trying to get too tied down on that, but use bare root trees, plant them after the trees have gone dormant, and that's going to be your best chance of success. You also need to make sure you put down a thick couple layers of cardboard around the base of the tree, and then add a thick layer of mulch on top of that cardboard. When you add the cardboard, make sure the cardboard is soaking wet. Otherwise, there's a chance that it wicks water instead of absorbs water during the small rainy season that you have in Temple. That's what's gonna give you the highest chance of success, and you're still gonna have trees die anytime you just plant them and neglect them, which is fine because you don't want weak trees anyways. So let those guys die, let the weak ones die, and replace them with another variety or another attempt at the same variety or something like that. But hopefully that was helpful. On to the next question. Alrighty, this one is from Lori Flarson, 4236. I'm so interested in swales. Would it be beneficial to have one on flat land? Now, I would say absolutely yes. There is no land that's too flat to have a swale, because if you just dug a swale, then it's no longer flat. You now have a lowest point for the water to go to. Most people would also say that this part of Texas is pretty doggone flat, and these swales, here's one that hasn't been planted yet, it's still overgrown. Haven't completely cleared it yet, but most people, but these swales here are highly beneficial. It's the only reason that those trees up there that I was talking about earlier, It's the only reason that those guys survived. If there weren't swales involved, then I highly doubt some of the weaker fruit trees that we had planted over there would have thrived and grown, let alone survived, especially during last year's drought in Texas, because apparently it was pretty bad. I wasn't here for it, but I definitely heard about it from the old timers. Here's another one. This is considered pretty doggone flat land. And as you can see, it's holding water right now down at the base. So yes, even if you're on flat land, swales are definitely beneficial. Now there is a limit to the slope of your land. If it's over 20 to 30 degrees, then you do not want to do a swale, you want to do a terrace. This next question is from Stephen Jones, WS5BW. I have a grassy lawn where I'm moving my garden in order to be in zone 1. My current one is too far from the house. Should I Broadfork, then put down cardboard? That is not a bad idea at all. I'll show you the garden I have going on here right now. This is all clover cover crop right now. This is the bed where I just planted those tomatoes and peppers. Have a couple marigolds over in this bed. But yes, that's generally a good idea. In fact, I can show you a Broadfork. For those of you guys that don't know, this is what a Broadfork is. And thanks to Link Wayne and his son Olin Wayne, I now have my very own Broadfork. And the way it works is you just stab it in the ground. It has these teeth down here in the bottom. And you want to push it all the way down. And then you're going to lift this back. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. There you go. And it decompacts the soil, as you can see right there, without destroying the complete soil structure like a tiller would. So yes, using a Broadfork and then using cardboard over the top of it. If you're dealing with Bermuda, I would use a couple layers of cardboard, which leads me actually into the next question. But to finish your question, I would then use a cover crop like this clover. If it's a little bit warmer where you are, then maybe go to cowpea or buckwheat or something like that. But this clover has changed the soil biology out here tremendously. There's a huge benefit of planting this clover, and I've never really seen it before as drastically as this season. Sorry, the wind is really kicking now. But yes, put down a cover crop. It's going to constantly feed the soil microbes, and that's what's going to help change the fungal to bacteria ratio in your soil, which is going to lead into the next question was Bermuda grass. How the heck do I beat this stuff? Which is exactly what you need to do. In order to beat the Bermuda grass, you're going to need to change the fungal to bacteria ratio in your soil. A way to do that is by feeding the good guys. What feeds the good guys? Cover crops, plants, perennials, all those guys feed the good guys. They're putting down sugar into the soil. In that sugar, there's also a recipe book that tells the microbes what the plant needs. The microbes go get it. They get eaten by the predators. The predators poop out nutrient-dense, bioavailable poop for your plants, which then, the more you feed the good guys, the more they're going to outcompete the bad guys, and that's going to change your ratio. And that's going to make it inhabitable to your Bermuda grass because they do very well in a low oxygen, bacteria dominant soil. So hopefully that was helpful. A little 2-for-1 right there. And I just reviewed my other question, and this is going to be the same applies basically. This is from Little Learning Farm. How can we naturally boost the soil microbes in our garden beds? Get a cover crop. That's going to be the best thing you can do. Do the dried mycorrhizal powders work? Should we be using Jadam type solutions? Dealing with super heavy red clay? 3 or homemade chicken compost on top of our garden beds. Last year was my first year of this garden with subpar results. So I'm not sure what the soil 3 is, but if you're buying it, then I would go ahead and stop. Your chicken compost might be too hot when you're applying it to your garden bed, so that might be an issue. I got sand in my eyes still. Anyway, yeah, the chicken compost might be a little bit too hot, and it might still be anaerobic. If you're applying it hot, then it still might be anaerobic and not ready for it to be applied to your garden beds. Also, there's a chance of it not being diverse enough because you're just getting a very small selection of the bacteria available just by using chicken manure. Also, give it time. If last year was your first year using this garden with that method, then just give it a little bit of time, because the microbes don't multiply overnight. So it's going to require some time. Like Dr. Orlandingham talks about it taking like a year to see good results of adding the soil biology to your soil. So give it time. Try again this year. If you're buying the Soil 3, then stop buying that. Also, you don't know what's in it. Just keep using what you're making, and you should get better results. But also, the best way to boost the soil microbes is to get plants in the ground. And it turns out that was my last question. So if you guys have any questions that you want answered, just leave them down below with the permaculture #permaculture Q&A at the beginning of it. That way I don't miss it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you.